The film opens with a couple named Karen and Sten. They live happily and have been married for a long time. From their marriage, Karen and Sten were blessed with a daughter named Frederica, who is now around 40 years old. That day, Karen and Sten were preparing to celebrate their wedding anniversary. Many people came from the family. But a moment later, when Karen wanted to prepare a birthday cake, she was surprised to see Sten's cell phone, which received a message from an unknown number. When opened, it turned out that the message contained a photo of twin donuts. There were also loving writings, which made Karen angry. Meanwhile outside, Sten was acting strangely to entertain the guests. Karen, who was angry, showed the message to Sten and immediately made him fall. And unfortunately, he had to be rushed to the hospital. As a result of the incident, it turned out that Sten suffered a slightly serious injury and had to be treated for a long time. Karen's friends expressed their sympathy for what Karen experienced. One of them was named Angela. She was Karen's old friend. But out of all Karen's friends, there was one friend who paid more attention. Her name was Monica. She even invited Karen to seek entertainment at a popular restaurant, with a famous chef named Hendrik. There Karen really enjoyed the food at the restaurant, and Karen could forget the problems she was experiencing for a moment. She even wanted to be able to make food like that. When she got home, Karen saw an advertisement poster containing cooking lessons with Chef Hendrik. Karen was very interested in the advertisement and really wanted to be able to follow it. Long story short, Karen, Monica, and Pia finally came to the cooking class. There they met new people, who turned out to be fun to talk to. When everyone had gathered, the class finally started, and it turned out that Hendrik taught a little harshly. Every time there was food that was wrong or not tasty, he would get angry and even insult the maker of the food. Karen was shocked, and it seemed like she couldn't stand the learning anymore. Karen wanted to quit the class, and said that Hendrik was a stiff person and couldn't lighten the atmosphere. But Karen's friends convinced Karen and asked her to stay there. And in the end, Karen still attended the class. Even Karen was the one who created a more cheerful atmosphere, and they were like family. This continued to be noticed by Hendrik. Gradually, Karen is now good at cooking. She can make various kinds of food, and of course it tastes delicious. Karen thanked Hendrik for teaching her how to cook properly. So did Hendrik. He thanked Karen because thanks to her, his class became more lively and felt like family. Days passed. The closeness between them all grew, as well as between Karen and Hendrik. Until one night, Karen forgot to bring her scarf. Suddenly Hendrik followed and brought it. Their sparks of love grew between the two, and in the end, Karen dared to kiss Hendrik. The next day, Sten was finally allowed to go home, but still had to use a wheelchair. Sten tried to apologize to Karen for what happened. Sten admitted that he was wrong because he had played behind Karen's back. But Karen seemed unwilling to discuss the problem again, and chose to keep her sorrow to herself. But fortunately, there was still Hendrik, who always entertained her. Until one night, when they were together in cooking class, Hendrik and Karen left there and looked for a place to make out for the first time. Karen still kept what she had done to Sten and Frederica a secret. Day by day, Hendrik became more and more convinced that he wanted to live with Karen. He invited Karen to leave there and live together. But Karen was still confused, because she also couldn't leave the person she loved and had been with for decades. Karen took a long time to give Hendrik an answer. Long story short, Karen and Sten celebrated Frederica's birthday at a restaurant. There were many people there, including Hendrik. The party looked very lively, but when everyone was busy with the party. On the other hand, Sten approached Angela, and it turned out that they had a relationship behind Karen's back. And the message that Karen found, apparently from Angela. Sten really wanted to live with Angela, but that was impossible. Sten already had Karen. Sometime later, it turned out that Hendrik and Karen left the party again to be intimate again. But when it was over, Frederica saw the incident. Of course, Frederica was annoyed with Karen's actions. On her special day, Karen even dared to do that with someone else. There was a commotion between Frederica and Karen. But Karen said this was all because of Sten, who also did the same thing. At first, Frederica didn't believe Karen's words, until finally she also saw Sten and Angela making out in a room. Since that incident, Karen and Federica's relationship became strained. They didn't talk to each other even though they were at home. But in the end, Federica realized that this was all the best for her mother. She even supported her mother's decision if she wanted to separate from Sten. All of this was for Karen's happiness. Hearing that, Karen immediately took Sten to Angela's house, and Karen had let Stan go with Angela. And Karen would live together with Federica. Until a few months passed. Now Karen and her friends opened a catering business. She was busy preparing food for the wedding. In between, Hendrik came to her. He said that he previously wanted to move to Japan and settle there. But that intention was cancelled because he heard that Karen had separated from Stan. In the end, they agreed to rekindle their relationship and live together. A few moments later the event started. Karen brought a wedding cake, and it turned out that the party was Stan and Angela's wedding party. There was no jealousy there. They all made up and found their own happiness. Sten will be with Angela, while Karen will be with Hendrik. And the film ends.